Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's been on my mind a lot lately. It's about a time in my career when I learned a powerful lesson about value, respect, and where true authority comes from. It's a story I call, "The board chose my boss, but the clients chose me." It all started a few years ago. I was working at a company I genuinely loved. The work was challenging, my colleagues were brilliant, and we were making a real impact in our industry. I had been there for a while, worked my way up, and I was leading a high-performing team. We were consistently hitting our targets, innovating, and most importantly, our clients were incredibly happy. I had built strong personal relationships with them. They weren't just accounts on a spreadsheet. They were partners. We understood their needs, we anticipated their challenges, and we always delivered. That trust was the foundation of our success. Then, one day, everything changed. The company decided to restructure the leadership in our division. My boss, who was a fantastic mentor, was moved to another department. We all waited anxiously to see who would fill the role. Given my track record, my team's performance, and my deep connection with our client base, I was the natural successor. My team thought so, my peers thought so, and I'll admit, I thought so too. I put my name in the hat, went through the interviews, and felt confident. But the board had other ideas. They decided to bring in someone from the outside. Let's call him Alex. Alex had an impressive resume, a degree from a top-tier university, and a history of working at big-name corporations. On paper, he looked perfect. The announcement came down, and while I was disappointed, I'm a professional. I was ready to support Alex, help him get up to speed, and continue doing great work for our clients. I figured the board must have seen something, a strategic vision that I just wasn't privy to yet. The problems started almost immediately. Alex was all about spreadsheets, metrics, and processes, but he seemed to forget that our business was built on people. In one of our first meetings, he looked at our client list and started talking about optimizing for efficiency. That meant standardizing our communication, cutting down on non-essential client calls, and replacing personalized strategies with one-size-fits-all templates. He saw our client relationships as a variable to be controlled, not an asset to be nurtured. I tried to explain. I told him, "Alex, our clients stick with us because of the relationship. They know they can call me anytime. They trust that we understand their unique business. If we take that away, we're just another vendor, and we'll lose them." He smiled, patted me on the shoulder, and said something like, "I appreciate your passion, but we need to scale. We can't let personal feelings get in the way of business." That was the moment I knew we were in trouble. He just didn't get it. To him, the personal touch was a bug, not a feature. My team was demoralized. They were used to being empowered to go the extra mile for a client. Now, they were being told to follow a script. The creative, problem-solving energy that had defined our department started to fade. And then, the calls started. Not to Alex, the new head of the department. They came to me. First, it was one of our oldest clients. "Hey," he said, "I just got this weirdly generic email from your new guy. What's going on? Are you still my point of contact?" I had to awkwardly explain the new structure, reassuring him that we were still dedicated to his success, even as I felt the ground shifting beneath my feet. Soon, it was a flood. Clients were confused and frustrated. They were being passed to junior account managers who were just following a checklist. Their specific needs were being ignored. They felt like they had gone from being a valued partner to just a number. And they all said the same thing. "I don't want to talk to this new person. I want to talk to you. You're the one we trust." This put me in an incredibly difficult position. Alex was my boss. Undermining him would be unprofessional, but ignoring my clients felt like a betrayal. These were people I had worked with for years. I had helped them launch products, navigate market downturns, and celebrate huge wins. Their loyalty was to me and my team, not to our company logo. I decided my first loyalty had to be to the people who trusted me. So, I started doing 2 jobs. During the day, I did what Alex asked. I filled out his reports, I sat in his process meetings, and I tried to implement his new efficient systems. But in the evenings and on weekends, I was on the phone with my clients. I was doing damage control. I was listening to their frustrations, and secretly working with my team to deliver the customized service they were used to. We were essentially running a shadow operation, keeping our clients happy in spite of the new management. It was exhausting. My team was stretched thin, and I was constantly looking over my shoulder, worried Alex would find out. The tension was unbelievable. In team meetings, Alex would present his charts showing increased efficiency because calls were shorter and emails were standardized. But I knew the truth. The metrics were meaningless because the relationships were crumbling. He was celebrating a tidy spreadsheet while the house was on fire. The breaking point came during a quarterly review with our biggest client. Alex insisted on leading the meeting himself. He had a fancy PowerPoint deck filled with corporate jargon and generic industry stats. The client, a sharp CEO I knew well, sat through the presentation with a stony expression. When Alex finished and asked for questions, the CEO didn't even look at him. He turned directly to me. He said, "I have one question. Are you still committed to our partnership? Because everything I just saw has nothing to do with our business or the value you've provided us for the last 5 years. The only reason I haven't walked is because of my relationship with you. So, what's the real plan here?" The room went silent. You could feel the air crackle. Alex was stunned. He had been so focused on his own corporate performance that he had completely misread the room. All his authority, all his C-suite backing, it all evaporated in that one moment. Because in that room, the client was the one with the real power, and their trust was with me. I took a deep breath. This was it. I looked at the CEO and said, "Yes, I am 100% committed to our partnership, and I apologize. We've had some internal strategy shifts, but my priority has always been, and will always be, your success. Let's talk about what you actually need." We spent the next hour ignoring Alex's presentation and having a real honest conversation. We saved the account, but the damage to the internal dynamic was done. After that meeting, Alex barely spoke to me. He knew he had lost. He had the title, the office, the authority from the board. But I had the one thing that truly mattered, the trust of the clients. And in our business, that was everything. The board had chosen him to be the boss, but the clients had chosen me to be their leader. It wasn't long after that I decided to leave. I realized the company's values no longer aligned with my own. When I put in my resignation, something amazing happened. As I started telling my key clients that I was moving on, almost every single one of them said the same thing. "Where are you going? We're coming with you." That was the ultimate validation. It was never about me versus Alex. It was about a philosophy. It was about whether you see business as a series of transactions or a network of relationships. The board had bet on the transaction guy. The clients bet on the relationship guy. And in the end, the clients were the ones who got to vote with their wallets. So, I started my own consulting firm. And those clients who said they'd come with me, they did. We're still working together today, building things based on that same foundation of trust and mutual respect. The lesson I learned is this: titles are given, but respect and trust are earned. You can have all the authority in the world on an org chart, but real influence comes from the value you create for others. The board may choose your boss, but the people you serve, your customers, your clients, your audience, they are the ones who ultimately choose you. Never forget that. Their trust is your greatest asset. Thanks so much for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your own experiences in the comments below. Have you ever been in a similar situation? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories and insights. I'll see you in the next one.